Black Girl Gamers, and we are Black Girl Gamers, and I see some more Black Girl Gamers in the audience. We just want to start off with our introduction and also saying thank you for coming through. My name is Janae Benet. I'm the natural hair gamer. I've combined natural hair and video games together, so like I do like product reviews and like I play like mostly indie games and like some other big name games and stuff like that. And I'm a digital content producer, like I write, I stream, I do videos with like Black Girl Nerds, and I live stream for BGG, which is an acronym for ourselves. And let's go first.
I'm Clea. I cosplay, I game, I just started streaming. My stream on Twitch is Lady Rekage. I run the New York chapter for Geek Girl Brunch, and I started with Geeks Travel also. It doesn't really have anything to do with gaming yet, but it will. So.
Hi. I'm Anastasia, aka Seeker, part of BGG, of course, also the founder of Thumbstick Mafia, which is also another space created for Black women and minority women that are in gaming. We mostly focus on culture and analyzing and supporting you in terms of the cultural aspect of games, but we also work with Black girl gamers to, make it a well-rounded, like, awesome space where you can be and grow together.
So one of the main things that we have learned since embarking on this journey to create a safe space for Black girl gamers is that you tend to get a lot of pushback. People say, well, why do you need a safe space? That's like asking, why do you need a place to live that has a lock on the door? I don't want you in here, plain and simple. And so I think it's very important to be able to express those ideas to people who genuinely are asking and who don't understand, and then to also learn how to deal with people who are just trolling or, who are the majority who don't think that, as Black women we don't go through anything, or as Black female gamers that we don't go through anything, or just as female gamers in general. So a safe space to me looks like, I get online, nobody's calling me a nigger or, porch monkey, all the funny stuff that people think are so funny. And just being able to play online and get better and like grow with people, and not people like attacking me just simply because I'm Black or I'm a female. Like I can deal with being a trash gamer, but like you're not gonna tell me I'm like a trash Black person. You know what I mean? Or like a trash female. Like it's not a thing. And I can deal with being like, oh yeah, your Roadhog probably needs to get over 42% accuracy. Like, that I can deal with. But like when you like attack me and like who I am, it's a different story. So I really enjoy, especially playing with these ladies. Also, our founder, who is not here, she's all the way in London, so we're going to send huge big ups to her. Her name is Jade, and she founded, our like Facebook group and like why we're all here and why we all came together and why you guys are here as well. And I love playing with all of them because it's so much fun, and I really get to be myself, and I'm allowed to be like, this is how I feel without them being like, are you sure you feel that way? Are you sure somebody else didn't do something that and you're in the wrong? And we all check each other for sure. If I do something messed up, they'd be like, yo, Janae, that was messed up. But like they never make me feel like how I feel is invalid or anything like that. So I'm gonna go for your safe space.
My safe space used to be just me in my room, like playing by myself. Like I refused to play online for years, probably up until like just about this year. And now it's playing with them. Like I never used to play online, but now that I can play with them, I'm like, all right, I'll get on the watch. I can do this.
Like we legit stay up at night after work.
Like the fact that I am 29 years old and scheduling play dates for myself, like legit play dates. Yeah. We're gonna get on Tuesday, 9 to 5. Yeah, cool. Like that. And I love that. So that's what my safe space is now.
My safe space is similar. I've been an online gamer for a long time because I play multiplayer games, I play shooters. So unfortunately, I didn't go through I didn't have the ability to hide. I got into shooters with Halo, and if any of you guys played Halo back in the day, you know that the online portion of that was terrible. Like it was a really, really toxic time to be on, especially if you were Black, even more especially if you're a woman, because then there was no, oh, maybe she's good.
No,
There was no, it was like, no, shut the F up, go make me a sandwich.
Yeah.
Nobody asked you. Like, there was no way to be yourself. And how I coped with that was I didn't use a mic. I didn't interact, I didn't engage. And after a while, I started to feel feel like I was falling out of love with gaming. But it wasn't that I was falling out of love with gaming, it was that I wasn't connecting with people, even though I was playing multiplayer games. So that's why I founded TM and wanted to align with other groups also, so that my safe space could just be me being able to play games and engage without worry, without fear of, oh, well, shit, I might feel bad, or I don't want to say anything because I don't want them to think like, oh, they're going to know. Like, you know, because you're always like, yo, how do they know? Yeah, like, how can they tell by my voice? But it's not even a how can they tell by my voice. It's like, yo, a lot of people are trolling. A lot of people really don't care. And unfortunately, that's just become like the standard for insult in some of these communities. So there's nothing you can do to escape it other than really finding and connecting with other people that are on your level, that share at least some of your values, or at least like to play and are not going to, you know, be upsetting. So my safe space is just me being able to get on, really, with other people without any worry.
So we all said, you know, we're looking for our safe spaces, and I feel like this time around, we really want to hear from you all. And, you know, what do you think is a problem, and like, do you have a solution? Like, does anybody think of like a problem that they've had while they've been gaming, where they're just like, I'm not gonna touch, you know, my PSN or my Xbox Live or this? Yes, ma'am.
So, have you ever gone through the issue where there's a character customization and you need a black character, and it seems like because you have that black character in that world, people kind of antagonize you for it? Because I've experienced that with a lot of games like RPGs and stuff that require you to have character customization. You know, stuff like that can irritate some people. Like, where I just think the character is opposite of my race or my gender. Because when you're a woman, you're antagonized for that. So sometimes I might play as a male character. I'm probably white, alone. And also, you know, the whole thing was not doing online gaming. Like, I haven't done online gaming in years. Like, I just completely stopped because, you know, I'm just tired of being attacked. You know, I just want to play a game. So, I mean, I don't really have a solution for that, but hopefully someone in the audience might learn.
So, I think one of the short solutions is, just as Secret said, like, just don't play with the mic.
Unfortunately,
Right.
I hate to give that as a solution.
Right. Because
But
it's
the
really
other
not
aspect,
solving it, but it's a way to continue gaming and to continue to enjoy the game. Like, when I get on Halo, my character is still hot pink, but you still can't see her face through the mask on, so you don't know what I'm laughing at, but it's still hot pink, so they do know it's a girl. And they're probably saying all sorts of shit on us, but like, I've turned off the mics, if you can't hear me, I can't hear you, we're just gonna play this game. You can be mad if you like, but
See, I don't turn my mic off as often anymore because I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, nah, you can get this work. Like, you can get this verbal work and these hands in the game. Like, go ahead. I see your hand up.
Yeah, I was going to say, wouldn't it add more to the problem if you turn off your mic? I agree with you about not turning off your mic, because if you turn off your mic, then you're letting the person who antagonizes you win, because you're not having a voice in the game. But if they're antagonizing you and you leave your mic on and you just talk like you're playing the game, like you be like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna shoot you dead. You know, you're not antagonizing back, but you're showing how good you are as an online gamer. I think it kind of show other online gamers who may quote unquote know you're a black female, show them that you are a good gamer, and they'll overlook the antagonizer who's antagonizing you because you're a black female.
And I agree with you on that, but I also have to acknowledge that it took me some time to get there. So a lot of people may not be able to deal with that level of confrontation because of anxiety, especially if it's like something in a game where you are like solo playing and you don't have community, which is why the next aspect that I was gonna say is to link and to find other black women that are playing that game so that you have that support system, and maybe you can get to that point where it's like you do have that confidence to say like, you know what, F it, I'm better than you. So I don't really care what you have to say, or even if I'm not better than you, I'm here to play the game, I'm here to learn, I'm here to grow. If you're here for the jokes, fine, we can both be here for the jokes, because I got them too. But I definitely have to acknowledge though that it took me, as harsh as I come off now about it, it took me a very, very long time for me to get here. Because I started gaming Halo 2, like I'm now starting to cuss people out like in these like past 2-3 years. So I feel like the community aspect of it is really like finding and connecting with people who play those games also, and to have like a good support system so that you can start to build that confidence, and so that you can kind of like shut that out. At least replace the bad experiences with so much good ones that even when the bad happens, it's not such a
So I play like a metric hackathon of Overwatch. I have like the gold border around my hat.
yeah.
Okay. And so like this was like a lot of other people, I completely avoided online gaming because I've gotten enough just on like online forums and like, you know, dealing with discourse and ideas that I was like, I don't want to bring this into my leisure activity. And so for the longest time, I just wouldn't join this like whatsoever. But then like I realized I want to get good at the game and call outs are important. Yeah, so once I started competitive, I sort of like tried to like put myself into it, and I would just I would be in chat, but I wouldn't say anything. So like I would just like listen and like do like cues, and like if I was respawning, I would type out something like, oh, you know, there's like getting jumping on me every time I respawn, please help. And so then, but then something kind of like bad happened, especially like around the election last year. There was just a whole lot more animosity, and like some people that I had been playing with pretty regularly in groups, you got to see some other colors of like other sides of them, and it was just really, really bad. So then what I wanted to do, like I kind of have a bit of like a vetting process, because if you play often enough, someone will say something stupid all the time, right? And you're looking for other people who are both willing to report those people, and who will like call it out and like match chat like that, like that's not cool, like it's not funny, like what do you mean? And so I would start adding those people and referring them to games, and then, you know, so like I don't know if they're black, I don't know if they're white, I don't know if they're Asian, so on and so forth, but I know that they don't want that type of toxicity in their games either, so now I play with them, and it's better-ish.
So pretty much, we have to find a community that will back us when we do these things.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm like confrontational, because that's not 100% true. But like when I play, I do leave my mic on, and like I made a Mass Effect character, and I feel like I kept starting over Mass Effect because I just wanted to make more characters, you know. And like I'll just continue to do that because I really want to embrace it. Anytime I meet like, you know, black women who have like avatars or something like as their Facebook profile, I'd be like, hey, are you interested in talking about this? And I've gotten a lot of girls who are like, I'm not really comfortable with revealing like, you know, who I am and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, I always definitely want to have the conversation of like why. I haven't gotten a ton of answers, and I respect that as well. But sometimes your personality isn't there for you to be like, I'm gonna turn on my mic and I'm gonna tell you what I got, like, you know, and that's okay. But please don't shy away from playing online, because they win, and like we have to push forward and push through that. But if that's not, you know, your piece, then like come game with us. We're not gonna do that to you, you know, like we're not gonna like have you out there like assed out, like, you know, like somebody's online like that, da, 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 and we turn off our mics and we're like giggling or something. Yeah.
Holy cow, it's hard to find other black gamers.
For sure.
Yeah.
But this is beautiful.
No.
Everybody better exchange information.
Yeah. Like, no, we're going outside. Like, I need all the PSNs, all the
I'm a clip for it.
I'm ready.
How do you guys find your members? How do you sustain your organization? Like, do you take donations from members, or a fee, or?
I mean, like, you want us to put up a bucket right now? Like, are y'all?
Like, I mean, like, the membership. And three, how do you guys agree on the games that you're going to play together? Because there are a lot of games.
We have over
Yeah.
like 600 people.
Yeah, 600 people in the Facebook group, just for them, and then the Twitter is also about 1,000. For TM, it's about 1,000 also. So there's a lot of subgroups and groups depending on like the game, And we have, the Facebook group is the main hub for BGG. Everything is free, it's open membership. The only thing you need to qualify to join is be a Black girl that games. And we will accept you into the group. The way that we sustain is by, contributing. So we have, people that have been around like us, closer to the inception, who understand the vision and the value in the space, and we will contribute things like articles, game knowledge, whatever we see. The conversations that we would want to have are pretty much what we contribute. So the Overwatch patch that came out, we threw that up. We talked about like all of the changes that are going on, and then we'd be like, okay, so who was getting on Overwatch?
Yeah.
Like, what is this Reaper buff hitting for? You know what I mean? And that's how we do it, because there are so many members. There's offshoots of games happening all the time. We do have the Twitch channel going, which every day now on Twitch, there's a scheduled, an assigned gamer that represents BGG and plays different games, so different communities are represented. But outside of that, we have group chats, we have like real-time ways, and you'll just like hit the Twitter DM and be like, hey, yo, I'm on PSN right now, I'm about to turn it on, who home, who on, first 6, that's my party. If you're still on and you need 6, hey, I'm still on, I need 6, that's how we do it. And we'll start to remember. So it's like, okay, I know you play Overwatch, I know she plays Overwatch, I know we both get home at like 8-ish Eastern, I'm gonna hit that, yo, 8:30 where y'all at, like y'all got our schedule. Make sure you pack snacks, because we're about to be on for 7 hours, like, so we have different levels of access depending on how you want to do it, but like I said, the Facebook is the main hub. We are trying to build out into like a full gaming website that has gaming news and opinions and all of that stuff. So there's a hub there for our members to have information, and also to give our members the ability to contribute, to write and to express themselves and to share with us what they love and to share with the group at large what they love. Bless you. So we have a Patreon going right now. It's just patreon.com/blackgirlgamers, and that's to help get like the website together and like help us when we go to events and such. But we don't necessarily have like hey, to join is $10.
No, you just come through.
You just come through and be a Black girl that plays games. That's it, all ages.
You guys have all female tournaments?
That's the plan.
So
we're
be
building
quiet,
out that.
Like, we're not there yet, like,
We're gonna get there.
Just wait on it.
That's
like,
a 2-3-year plan. We're getting there.
That's
We
phase
got
2.
you.
We
Phase 3.
got
We're on
you.
phase 1.
We got you.
I
Trust
want
me.
to see that.
You'll be there.
We ready to.
Look, you'll be there.
We just scroll up.
Any other?
Yeah. So to the point that was, not that we were off topic or anything, but I'm just going back. So last night I was in the ticket tournament hosted by BlerdCon, and this is one of the things that I personally deal with. It's being a formidable opponent, and people are like, "What?" When they see that you're a female. So last night they're like, "Is so and so here? Is so and so here? Is Robin here?" And one of the guys who's participating in the tournament is like, "Is Robin here?" He turns around. My boyfriend is standing there. One of our other friends is standing there. A couple other random guys, and he's looking them all in the eyes. And I'm just like,
You don't see me.
"Hey, I'm Robin. How are you?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad." It's one of those things that I've gotten used to. I get on the sticks, I whoop ass. I've had people tell me online that my boyfriend was playing for me,
Every day.
or you aren't really playing. Last night after the match, the guy who was kind of hosting the tournament, he was like, "Who won?" And the guy was like, "Robin won." He was like, "Robin won?" It was like, question mark, yes, bitch, I won. It's kind of like one of those things where you have to know who you are. Like a lot of times, I let that stuff get to me, because of course, once you start winning, the insults come. You know how to play good because you don't have a life. You know how to play good because you're not in the gym. You know how to play good because of all this other stuff. And it's like you have to know who you are as an opponent. Like people can't take away from me that I can beat their asses. If you beat me, congratulations, you're a good player, because most people cannot. And that's one of those things that I have to take into, it doesn't take away from the fact that these people will try to overlook you, they will try to insult you. It doesn't take away from any of that, but what it does do is make them realize they can't beat you.
Or they'll say the game is broken.
With the FGC, as you know, I'm glad you brought it up because if you're in the FGC, you know that NY Christie said some effed up things the other day. And I was talking to my black male friends in the FGC, and one of them, and it's so funny because I know him personally, and I have to say this because like this kept me from like attacking him because I know where he stands, like, you know, me being like a black girl gamer and him like supporting like everything that we do. And he was like, get good, and I'm like, but that shouldn't be the answer. That shouldn't be the answer. I shouldn't have to come through and be like, yo, I'm on tier 1,000, like respect me, because you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. And so what it is I do actually want to start entering tournaments, and I'm like terrified because there's two types of people. There's the one person who's like, yo, like I'll help you train and stuff like that, and then you can go when you're ready. And there's the other person who's so optimistic. They're like, you should just start doing it now. And I'm like, you trying to set me up for failure.
Right.
You do not know what it's like.
That culture.
You don't know what it's like for me just to show up.
The fighting game community is very
Toxic.
so it's toxic to a fault because men automatically think that they're better at these things, and they will get onto you for being a scrub when everybody is scrub tiered.
Right.
I was at Evo last year, and I promise you, there are only 16 people who are going to wind up on that stage. So there have to be at least 1,000 more scrubs. But they are going to treat you as though your presence is a problem.
Right.
Which is why I always ask them, I was like, okay, y'all keep going to these events, but do y'all get out of pools though?
Right.
Then hush.
Like for real.
I don't wanna
Everybody in
hear-
losers bracket.
Yeah, I don't want to hear your hella like extravagant opinion on how women are garbage at the game when you've never even.
I got tournament jitters.
No, you've never made top 20 in your life, my guy. I don't want to hear it.
No.
Like I don't want to hear it. And even if you have made top 20, you would think that at least by now, in the year of our Lord 2017, that you would understand that all it takes is hands and dedication. Like that's all it takes.
Practice.
That's really all it is. If you're not willing to get into the lab, whether you're a man or a woman, your game is not going to improve. Because there's no such thing as like such a natural talent, especially for like the FGC where you just never have to practice, you never have to grind, you never have to do anything.
Right.
So that's what upsets me and annoys me about those guys is because they are there, especially for like Yipes, because like, you know, dude, you know what it takes to get there. And you know exactly how y'all treat women that are in the FGC, like they're just groupies. You try to dismiss them, you try to belittle them, you try to say that the games are whack, but you do not actually allow them in these spaces. And since there isn't like any real like mentorship and connection in these spaces for women, they're not able to like really do it themselves. But none of y'all will take it upon yourself to be like, hey, she's a dope talent. I see it in her. Yo, come lab with me.
There are
Yeah,
some
and
Let
I
me
don't-
show you some things.
I'm not on the panel, so don't think I'm.
Hey, listen,
It's like-
we
it's
know
like,
who she can be on the panel if she
Yeah, I
wants.
will. I'm right on Twitter if you know you see
We
me.
game with her.
But
she
one
can-
of the things that bugs me is that if you do seek out that help, they treat you like Big and Kim or Fox and Jay. They want to treat you like somebody they mentor instead of an equal. Like it's just the environment in the fighting game community is so bad. And I wish I could say that those things didn't hurt me. I just laugh it off. You know, I made a joke about it last night. Like, yeah, well, yeah, shit, I want him. But it's like those things still bother you at the end of the night. And the only thing I can tell you is just to be solid in who you are as a gamer. And that's what these groups are about, is building that foundation in yourself with other women who feel like you do.
I just wanted to say, like, as a piece of advice or something that I did. So I didn't game for a while, and then I got a PlayStation 4 last year, and I started gaming and got into Overwatch, and now, like, I play it even more than my boyfriend does, and he's like, "You are obsessed," and I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of am."
It's a problem.
Yeah, I know it really is a problem. It's like 1 in the morning, I have to get up at 6, and I'm like, "Shit, just one more game because I can't get off, with this loss, with this L." and then I win, and I'm like, I'm on a winning streak, so I gotta keep playing. It's a spiral, downward spiral. It's really bad, but. One of the things that I was really scared to talk on the mic as well, and I would hear really toxic people right off the bat. I like Symmetra, so I get shit on half the time because they're like, "Do we need this?" And with my mic off, I'm like, "Yes, we do, bitch. I'm not even gonna change because I get so angry." But one of the things that really helped me was, I would get so angry and so frustrated and so pissed and everything, and I would watch these oversalt videos. Like, people do compilations of, like, angry gamers, and I would watch it, and I would start laughing, hysterical. Like, I know that it might trigger a lot of people to watch that stuff, because there are a lot of racist comments and everything like that, but I'll just watch it and I just start cracking up. Like, and I find that now when I go into games and I hear people, it just makes me the same reaction I have to those videos. It just makes me laugh. Like, and not only that, but then you see how other people kind of deal with it. There was this one guy who was brilliant, and I really want to try this trick one day. He had a baby crying soundboard next to him. So every time somebody got on, it's like, why am I not getting any healing? And all you hear is, and this guy, he's like, whoever's doing that, you're so stupid. But this guy was getting so worked up over this baby crying noise, and the person just kept hitting the button. And I was like, you know what? Let them get themselves so angry. Like, let them. They want to get frustrated. But another thing I just wanted to say was, I think one of the frustrating things for me is, playing. I hear my own voice, and I don't hear my race, I don't hear my color, I don't hear my gender, it's just me, my voice. But what's so frustrating is that on top of being harassed for being a girl, it's like something in my voice, and I hate to say this because it makes me feel like awful, like I'm betraying myself, but sometimes I wish I didn't sound like a Latina, like playing video games. I wish I didn't sound like I was a person of color, because there's not only do I get attacked for being a woman, a gamer, but I also get attacked for being, a person of color. And it makes me really, really upset. I've gotten fried chicken jokes, I've gotten your big black XYZ, whatever, and it's really upsetting that there's another layer of like garbage that I have to deal with on top of like the fact that I'm a woman, like playing a game. So it is really upsetting that, that's the case, but yeah. That's how I deal with it, laugh.
Yeah, so what I was kind of wanted to open it up to like see if maybe people like had a suggestion about how to deal with that. So when I first started playing Overwatch, it started as my first FPS game. So the whole moving and shooting at the same time was a struggle. Yeah, man, and so like I gravitated to Lucio because I was like somebody who like looks like me in a game. What? Awesome. However, Lucio mains have a reputation. It's like, oh, he's only playing Lucio because. And then you get on like, it's like, oh, you're not playing Mercy, but aren't you somebody's girlfriend? Like, aren't you shooting with them? Because, and so, like, that actually pushed me to start playing Zenyatta. So I was like, I need to get my aim down, and like, I'm gonna play somebody respectable, but like, now, with the different shifts and so on and so forth, and with the on and nerfs, sometimes it does make sense to play Mercy, but like, I feel bad about doing it because of the fact that like, I feel like I'm putting myself in that category, even though, we only got one healer, we're playing incom, somebody wanted to do it. It was like ranting for like 2 minutes straight about like how I didn't have my sound barriers at the right time, or I didn't do this, and like I was like at that point it shook me so much that like I was off my game for like the rest of the night. I stopped playing comp, I tried to go into quick play, I was losing games there, and then I just stopped and I was like, I think that's when I took the hiatus for like, I stopped playing the game for like a month and a half straight, when I've been playing every single day. And like, how do you recover after, somebody just comes at you so hard that you don't, like, it doesn't occur to you to, number one, formulate a response, or you're still trying to like make sure you don't get penalized. I was like, well, I guess I should just leave the game then, because it was like lame.
Well, as a fellow Overwatch player, I will say that if you can play whatever role it is that you feel like your team needs to win, regardless of whatever people say, if you see the end, like for instance, I do play Mercy. I play lots of Mercy, but I also play lots of Vayne. I play all of my characters in a support role, even though they're not support characters, because I like playing support. And I get that a lot, like our Symmetras, where it's like, do we need a Symmetra? Yes, we do. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this work. If you would just shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like, okay, well, the part that I hate about Overwatch is that there's no like end game that shows you everybody's stats. So a lot of people like feel like they can come at you, but you can't see like their garbage negative ass stats with no medals, with no nothing. And then they're gonna be like, well, they're so convinced, like, well, if you would have healed me that one time, I could have wiped the team. No, fam, no, you're garbage too. Because the reality is what makes those like team games amazing is the fact that there are roles and everybody has to play their role. I played my role. I was the healer. We needed the heals. What did you do? Were you DPS? Were you killing people? Because I mean, maybe I died too much. So you have to learn, I would say, how to counter that early on and not get them to the point where they feel like they can disparage you. Like, nah, you have questions, so do I. Because I was dying. Why was I dying as the healer? Where was my protection? How did I not get to the team? Why did I have to use my sound barriers to save myself to contest the point? Where were y'all? So don't let them start to chip away at your morale. You have to show like, listen, I'm not no chick that's just like playing Lucio because Lucio is cute. Like I saw me, I filled the role, and okay, we lost the game, but I didn't lose the game for us. We lost as a team. So we can all examine like what we did incorrectly. Like maybe, yeah, I could have thrown a sound barrier at the right time, but what did you do? And how could you have done something different? Because I'm not here for you just trying to disparage one person's game. Because again, there's no team stats. So unless you're trying to like tell me that, honestly, I don't want to hear it. I don't. And I hate that about Overwatch. Because it allows people to feel like they can talk to you and there's no way for you to check and be like, okay, you went 13 negative and you actually only had 1 kill. And you were our main DPS. So I literally, everything you say is invalid. I don't even care. Like you can take all of that and go. And that's how I feel with it. I'm like, what are your stats, bitch?
So in the comments on Periscope, the user Chickamungus mentions that she's been reported for defending herself.
Yes, that's happened.
Well, how do you guys approach
I
that?
mean, you can give me your address and we can figure it out.
No, this hasn't happened in real life.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to counter, especially because I know women who they've gotten banned because they either got all of their like little racist friends in a group and held hands while they were reporting us, you know, for standing up for ourselves. And unfortunately, the only thing that you can do is like try to contest and explain like what happened. You try to, you know, mentally keep a record if you can, but it's so hard to keep track of because there's no way to be like, oh, this person reported me, or you can, you know what I mean, like go back and defend it. So unfortunately, that's something that hopefully, you know, console companies, gaming companies will start to like take a look at and understand going forward. We hope that, you know, with things like this, it's the beginning of saying like, yo, we're here. Like you cannot ignore us. Like please do not ignore us because we're not gonna let you. Go ahead.
Okay, not related to Overwatch, but it is online. That was some game. Guild Wars 2, they have a race called Emonia, and our key in Emonia, I have like the last 5 years, because it's one of the few games where you can have a character skin tone go that deep and it doesn't look
Praise weird.
so. It's like, since I played by Emonia, I have gotten these strange whispers. Oh yeah, anything from like, ooh, she's so dark and pretty. Like, oh wow, she's gorgeous. I'm not gay, but you know, I have that, and I like the dark man. But I think one of the more, one of the more, let's call it shocking events, what actually didn't happen to me. The server I play on Harnish Coast, anyone plays PvP or World vs. World knows, #1. Anyway, a friend of mine was helping out with an event where we were celebrating one of the Elonian princes. The original prince was a woman. Amaki, I can't remember her last name, but Amaki Vasi, and they're transgender, female, and they're not rap, but they were nice enough to make one for us because we did an extra. And they said later on, I didn't find out during the event, but later on, he approached me and said, is this what happens to you all the time? And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, someone came up to my character and they whispered me, and they made comments about how pretty my character was and how they liked to be intimate with my character. But they didn't do it from the stance of a compliment or insulting. They did it from the stance of, it is my right to look at your character and to have things from your character. And he said, I play female characters that are lighter skinned or, following the range of light, and they've never been hit on, approached, or whispered like that. Is this something that's common for you? And I was like, yeah.
You mean in everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing, like, last question, we're gonna.
Oh, it's not a question, more like, to build on what you were saying about how you can combat, when you're being reported. I know it's easier now to stream just about all your gameplay and your console and stuff like that. That might be one way to like have evidence. And like, since on Twitch now you can clip your shows really easily, you can probably clip that, send that link to, if they accept. I don't know how they're.
But that's also assuming that before they report you, they let you know.
Right. Oh, that's
Or
true.
that there's
That's
any engagement. Because a lot of the times, it's not that.
So,
But that's good.
so,
So we wanted to talk about allies a little bit, and how we can help not just be our allies, but kind of get you all to be vocal. And specifically for Black men, because that's something that I feel like needs work. Not to say that there aren't any, but like we want you to be more vocal, and we want to figure out how to get you to be more vocal and stand up for us in these online communities and in real life. So that's a question for all of you. How do we get you to be more supportive and helpful?
How do you get us to be more supportive?
I mean, both,
Yeah.
either way.
like, what we gotta do, like, you know what I
Like,
mean?
do we
Like,
gotta
do
do
it,
it?
like-
Who do we have to sacrifice?
I don't think it's how to get us more active. It's more about what do you all need. I think it's a better question. What do you need from us?
I need you to, so like, right, for real, because when we first did this panel, and I don't know if any of you seen the flyer art, it's an Afro diva is what I call it. It's a diva with like a puff. And what I need is for when somebody comes in and be like, well, white girl gamers don't do this and Asian girl gamers don't do this. Why do you, I need somebody to be like, okay, I need you to be a Black Knight. You feel me? Like, I feel like that's what's necessary because I'm getting pushed back and then it's me by myself. And then I'm in a group called something for Black nerds. And like nobody else is like, first of all, there are other people than Black nerds in that group. And then there's like, there's Black males in there who are kind of just like letting me burn by myself and then will DM me and be like, stay strong. We're That's what I'm saying.
And
That's what I mean.
further
Because
explaining and in cahoots with it. And I think that's why we keep asking this question and we do it, not only in panels, but whenever we talk, because we do have, groups that we're allied with, like the Cookout and like Black Gamers Revolution, where they're groups that have both like men and women, and they're heavy on the, the men's side of things, but, we ally with them, we play, we game. Because the one thing to note is that even though we are Black girl gamers and we do try to sort of like fall into that and protect each other and ourselves, we're not saying that we are disconnecting from, gamerness or like our gamer identity at large. Like, this does not mean that I only play with Black people all the time 100%.
we just have to build up
It's my
ourselves
preference, though.
and then like go out. Like,
It's my
once we're
preference.
okay.
Yeah, so it's more about like us asking like, hey, can you use your voice?
Yeah.
Can you use your influence? I know y'all not always in the mood, just like we not always in the mood, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, can you, like the same way that we're having these conversations now, are you guys having these conversations amongst yourselves as men too? Like, yo, that shit that Yipe said is bad, messed up. Versus all that we're seeing is sort of like the congratulatory, like, yeah, because they bad, they just come here to have sex with everybody. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And okay, so I do want to say two pieces on the Christian thing, because right, like I wrote an article and you'll see it when it comes out. Two things. had black men come back and say to me that like, we didn't agree with how he said it, but what he was saying was like, you know, there aren't a lot of black women in the FGC. And I was like, okay, I can take that part and then I can try to expound on that and be like, but I have receipts, you know what I mean? But it was the fact of, and it was the fact of like, they like looked past all the disrespect and pulled out this
And
one
the
point,
racism.
you know, and it's like, but we need to walk through that line by line, because he kept commenting, and you know, like, and he said, but we need to walk through it line by line and be like, this isn't okay, okay, this may be a piece of it, but this was like a 5% of truth, and you're like, you know, 95% of like disrespect, and you know, just blatant disrespect, and you know, disregard for like women in general, and then, you know, plus all the other stuff he said. So there are, you know, kind of like two sides to that, and it kind of sucks, but yes, we saw what he was saying, but the way he said it wasn't okay, because, you know.
I'm not even gonna give him that. Go ahead, Justin.
So I was gonna say like two things that I've learned just from y'all that we as black men can do. One, when y'all say you need a space, like when Black Girl Gamers say we need Black Girl Gamers, let them have Black Girl
Yeah,
Gamers.
like this isn't for you to slide in nobody DMs. Like that's not what this is for.
Right.
Like,
And we
Like,
have
yeah.
it so often.
Like,
It's so annoying.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Don't be thinking like the other thing is the way black women ride for us, we gotta ride for them too. Right? Like when Notch goes out his racing plans, and black women ride
Say it again.
for
Right.
Because I felt like it would have been a great opportunity for men in the FGC to be like, that's actually not actual and factual, because here, and then in the past couple of weeks, there have been so many pieces about black women in the FGC that are doing great and that are placing, that are advancing, but they're written by white publications, and I'm like, oh, so they somehow got it, but,
Yeah.
But that's another thing too. Like, I've been like competitive since like late Street Fighter 2, going all the way forward. So like, just from my observance and stuff, just it's like, man, it's not too many like black people really kind of reporting on like FGC stuff. Like, but I don't pay it any mind, because I mean, it's like maybe one other person that we know that has, but it was just for a short time. But like on top of that, commitment. Like, I'll sit there and go to bat for any woman that's going to sit there and play the game. Just commit to it. Like, I'm down. If you committed to being good, I'm all for it. I'll back it up. Even if you're sucking, it's like, well, shit, she's still going with it. All right, I'll back you up on that. You know.
But that sounds like, sorry, disclaimer, I'm not a gamer. That sounds qualifier. That sounds like.
I don't think it's qualifying.
That's, no, wait, sorry. That sounds like you will offer your backing and support if they're good. If they do all the things that like black nerds, black women nerds are required to do, like I have to fucking show my freedom papers to show that I belong here.
I didn't
okay.
want to frame it like that, but it was just
It sounded like a qualifier when like we deserve to be wherever we are regardless, and we need you to support that shit and not ask for our freedom papers and not say, oh well, okay, she's good, so I'm gonna rock with her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, that's
I'm
what I
gonna
said.
back
That's
her
what I
up.
said. Regardless if you suck or not, I'll back
Okay.
it up regardless. That's
I
what I said.
just
That's why I put that
wanted-
caveat. Like, if you suck, I'll still back it up regardless.
Okay.
Back you had your hand up? No, you, sir.
Oh, I was just. He took most of it out. He took most of the words out of my mouth. But do y'all? It's more so. I think black women in gaming just want a voice from black men, and not a condescending one.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to knock you down. Even if you suck, they're like, girl, get up. Let's go. Let's keep on. Let's keep playing. It's more like, it's not just to have, because everybody's going to be placed in a box no matter what, by somebody, no matter what. And I think really what it is, like you said, like you just said, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. We all should be one. All of us are playing one game. It's all love.
Every day.
That's what it should be.
And then nobody,
And no one's like,
Yeah, and then it's just like, yo, you know my boy, he don't play that good. Leave him alone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you do these things for your male friends, you can do them for your women friends. It's not.
you had your hand up. Right, ma'am. Okay,
You had?
Like, I was basically piggybacking off of what she said. I know a lot of men who are flaky, who pick it up and then they drop it, and no one says, oh, well, like, I didn't exactly love because he was flaky, they still rap.
And then.
Just from the ally point of view, what I've learned working through different communities and, you know, being a cisgendered white male, I want to be a great ally. And Ruby Corrado, who runs Casa Ruby, trans halfway house shelter in DC. Put it very simply, you know, a lot of people use the word ally, but to be a true ally, you have to put your body at risk. You've got to be willing to put yourself at risk, you know, and as a trans woman, she says, you know, it's one thing to say you're an ally and you're going to vote for my needs and you're going to donate money or things like that, but what I really need is somebody who's going to walk me through that crowd so I can go to the bathroom. And that's what I think you're asking. You're asking for true allies who are going to stand up and talk to other men and say, hey, I'm a man, what you're saying is not cool, and, you know, put themselves at risk, because you don't need to keep defending yourself and re-traumatizing yourself. You need the community to change itself, and that starts, you know, with allies, true allies.
I've checked, and I didn't forget about you. I have checked, I was at Combo Breaker, and it was a great event, and, you know, I was trying to make friends. Like, I was, one of the few, like, female volunteers, only than even, like, fewer, you know, like, black female volunteers, like, and, you know, I walked over these people who play Street Fighter, and I was like, yay, and then there was this guy there who was not of African descent at all. And he was like, nigga, and I was like, oh, so are we just over here doing racial slurs? I was like, what's happening over here? And then the two black guys was like, you're right, you're not allowed to say that. But like, I could tell that he was saying it before, and I was like, but I'm glad, I guess, to know that in my presence you don't let it happen. Because outside of me, it's like, what can you do? But if I come over and I'm like, this is a standard, and they'd be like, you're right, I can't really get upset at you. I wish you would think it's a standard for you.
Yeah, I'm more upset at them, like, you're cool with it, like,
Right,
out here giving
but
out
that's what it
passes,
is,
I'm not
like,
touching that.
that's the culture of the FGC, which is messed up. Like, you know, you don't get to do that, but family.
I think what we need from, you know, black males when it comes to standing up for us, it goes bigger than just gaming. It goes to cosplay, trans nerdom. Like, there's, you know, because we all live this stereotype that black women are supposed to be strong all the time, empowering, we're supposed to handle our own, and then, yes, you know, then we'll get your help kind of thing. But what people need to realize is, as black women, yes, we're strong. Some of us are strong because that's just who we are. Some of us are strong because we had to become strong to survive. And others, we're here, but we still need help. So it's more of a, we're strong, yes, but we need your help in this from, as a black male. We're in this together. You know, no one else will know what it's like to be black other than a black person. You know, we know what the struggle is. So it's like, when I'm being a little weak right now, or I'm not feeling my best, I need you to be like, hey, I got you. Hey, you can't say the N-word to her, or hey, you know, don't use her blackness as a disqualifier or whatever. Just like when, like, black women being called bed wenches because of cosplaying, and it's like, we need, you know, in cases of that, we need like a black man to say, hey, you know what, maybe she just likes being there, maybe she likes cosplaying, or maybe she likes doing this game, whatever. It's like, we need to basically like deconstruct and basically say like, okay, black women are strong, but they also need help.
Right.
We're not gonna like, you know, and as black women, we're not gonna like, we're not looking at black men like, what are you guys not doing? We're just saying, hey.
Yeah, like,
Like,
we know you're
makes
here,
us stronger.
can we not work together?
We need
Yeah.
healing. We need healing. Hey,
We need healing.
Right.
So the last thing that we wanted to post to you guys and discuss was, so how do we, with this, how do we start to truly support each other? Like, what does that start to look like on both ends? Outside of like communities. Go ahead, I saw that hand go up.
Yeah, no.
I got you.
So, you could try to create something called champions. And this concept is, like, perfect example. So, whenever I was in grad school, we would have a champion for the department. So let's say some fucked up racist shit happened that day. You go to that champion, and that champion actually goes off in the entire department. So that's something you can do even within your organization, create champions as black men or anyone who would be willing to step up to those different situations and combat those different situations. So.
Well, we hope to create a community of champions. That's our goal.
Like, you can hit it.
Yeah, but that's definitely the way to go about it.
So, since since I just found out that Robin won the video game
It's
tournament.
lit.
Oh, I didn't win. I won some matches.
Oh,
I didn't win. It was a lot going on, and I was tired. It was this fire ass.
But we support you anyway.
So, I mean, you know, I'm just saying, just so this doesn't get around outside this room. I didn't win one.
You're a winner in this room.
You find out their social media accounts, you see if they're streaming, you know, you grow that user base, and when they have that, they start to say, hey, I want to see something go to Evo this year, it's a whole lot. Support that, like, monetarily, you know, spread the word, so that we start seeing people that look like us and that play like us, and play better than us, rising to prominence and, like, being, like, somebody that we can follow behind. So,
Yes, give black women your money.
I was just about to say
Yes,
that.
you know. Give black women your money.
Yes, in the back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's one thing when you're talking about a game like fighting games where there's a prominent black community, but someone like me, I play Smite and MOBAs and things, and I know like 2 people that are with me at like the high masters, grandmasters level that are actually black. I don't run into like any girls that are black at all, but if I knew, then I'd be able to talk to them or give them advice. You know what I mean? Or I hope if someone is attacking them, someone could let me know and then I could defend them. But I don't even, what we do in games so there's not even a large black population that's known, you know?
You gotta link like Voltron, man. It's like, yo, left leg, right leg, you know? It really is that thing where you have to, and I hate to put it this way, but you actually do have to put in the work. Like when I founded Thumbstick Mafia a year and a half ago, and I founded it because I was like, okay, so there's gotta be black women for me to play with, and I was determined to find them. And I understand that people didn't have the time that I had, because I would spend hours upon hours a day going through Twitch, going through YouTube, finding people. I was searching keywords. I'd be like, girl, you ain't posting nothing on Twitter for like this whole year, but it's saying you play video games, like what's up? Like you trying to get these games? and I get that not everybody can like do that, again, because of time constraints or like just social, you know what I mean, like barriers. But that's why, again, we do have like allied groups that have like, you know, both men and female members or just male members, and we build out and we spread the word. We're like, yo, got a homie that's looking for some Smite players, like where y'all at?
Yeah.
Like I can think of like 3 right now, like Hugh plays Smite. There's a bunch of people in the cookout that play Smite, so I want to link you with those guys, and you know, build out from there. But the way that I do it, I'm like, I Smite, and then I'm like, you, yes, bring you into the fold, wrap you in the blanket, you're with us now. Like that's how I do it. So unfortunately, it does take a little bit of, you know, legwork, but we out here. We have resources for you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, to touch on your point a little bit, for one, you don't have to have black femfolk within your circle to create a safe space. Like, you need, for one, like, it's actually good that you have a lot of, like, menfolk around you. Like, no, like, start with them. Like, make sure that the space in which that you guys are all in is a safe space, regardless of whether black femfolk are in there or not. Like, make sure that it's a safe space if they ever decide to come into that space. It's not only that, but then put the people that you're playing games with so they're not going out and, you know, calling them out their name or whatever, or even that they have the tools to defend them if they come across a black player or something like that. I know for one, I play with my boyfriend, we play Overwatch all the time. I mean, I'm pretty good at defending myself, like you're not about to come at me because I'll pick Widowmaker, we're all about to But hypothetically, if I were in a situation where somebody was coming at me, I know he's internalized my struggle enough that somebody calling me out my name because I'm a black woman feels the same as if somebody white called him a nigger. It feels the same way. He's going to have the same visceral reaction. So I think that's one thing that you can do to try to become a better ally if you choose to use that title. I don't. It's just not something I do. But you need to internalize the struggle. So the same way somebody calling me a bed wench, it feels the same to him as they called him a nigger. So I know as soon as he hears it, he's looking, he's like, yo, not that one. And it's about to get I know, yeah, you know, and that's really how it has to be. Like, it can't be like, oh, well, you're a good gamer, so I'm going to come to your recipe. No, I can go 0-17, and he's right there. Like, no, not this one.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to be. Well, we got another panel waiting on this room.
Oh, we're gonna be outside. Yeah, we're